Hello everyone, I'm Hunter, and you're watching Unexpected History. Imagine, if you will, a cold Boston day about halfway through January 1919, and somewhere in the city, there existed a massive 50-foot tall by 90-foot wide cast iron tank. In this tank was about 2.3 million gallons of crude molasses, destined to become the ethanol needed to make rum. That alone isn't very exciting, I admit, but what happened that day is probably as exciting as molasses has ever gotten. This is the story of the Boston Toffee-Apple Tsunami. Temperatures had spiked upwards from the night before, causing the molasses the tank contained to expand greatly. The tank strained mightily, trying to hold back the sticky sea of molasses, but it ultimately failed, exploding violently and releasing the gooey gush upon the unsuspecting residents of the North End neighborhood of the city. The resulting tidal wave, for that's what it truly was, 15 to 40 feet high in spots, traveled at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour as it slammed into houses, ripping them from their foundations, swept away vehicles of all sizes, and drowned the people and animals unlucky enough to be in the path of the tacky tide. Parts of the tank itself slammed into the supports of the elevated railway nearby, severely damaging the structure, and almost washing away one of the streetcars on the track. Several blocks of the area surrounding the tank were inundated with 2 to 3 feet of molasses. Witness reports from the day said the ground shook much like a small earthquake, and a long rumble was heard that sounded much like an elevated train passing by. Other reports state that it sounded like a machine gun was firing, likely the rivets violently ejecting from the tank as it failed, along with a tremendous crashing, almost like a thunderclap. Among the first people to respond to the unfolding disaster were 166 cadets from what is now known as the Massachusetts Maritime Academy. Some cadets dived right into the mess, wading through the knee-deep goo to pull those who had become trapped by the rapidly cooling molasses to safety, while others did their best to keep the crowd of curious onlookers at bay. Not long after, the Boston Police and Red Cross, along with some Army and Navy personnel, arrived to help with the rescues. Most worked day and night, without stopping, for 4 days before rescue operations turned to recovery operations. So numerous were the injured that doctors had to set up a makeshift hospital in a nearby building. Witnesses later described the injured as resembling nothing so much as candy apples. All told, 21 people and uncounted animals lost their lives in the tsunami, while about 150 others received injuries to varying degrees. A few of those who lost their lives were even swept into the harbor and weren't found for almost 4 months. The city took several weeks to clean up. Molasses was found all over Boston, having been tracked everywhere in town by people who were barely involved, if at all, in the tsunami and its aftermath. But Bostonians would swear for years afterwards that they could still smell molasses during hot weather. As someone who dislikes getting sticky to the point that it almost borders on a phobia, a trait I inherited from my father, who, and I'm not making this up, is the only cop you'd ever meet who eats donuts with a knife and fork. The Boston Toffee-Apple Tsunami was one sticky situation, and a bit of unexpected history in which I was most happy I was not involved. In a funny bit of wordplay, this event is also known as the Boston Molassacre. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and follow Unexpected History for more content just like this. Until we meet again, I hope you have a great day.